we're laughing because we both wore the color, but I don't think women may know why your color is this wonderful yellow.
Well, for a couple of reasons, but yellow is the happiest color out there. I mean, it's the color of the sun, and it just brings you joy. When you see this color, you can't not be happy. But I took a personality test years ago, and they do color by color, yellow, green, blue. It tells you what energy you are. And my life coach who gave it to me was like, Kendra, I've never seen anybody with this much yellow energy in my life. And this is before we had picked the color for our company brand. And it became very obvious that yellow was the Kendra Scott color.
A happy color.
A happy color.
It's on every single box.
It is.
And
Well,
I've always wondered why.
I say happiness comes in a yellow box. So.
That's perfect. So women look at you and they think, oh my gosh, she's got it all. She is successful, she's beautiful, she's a hard worker, she has everything. So have you had struggles with self-love? And whether that's confidence, self-love, and have you had those struggles?
Yes, and that's why I wrote the book. I really wanted to show that there's power in vulnerability. We all go through difficult times in our lives, but from the outside, especially in the world of Instagram and filters, we all try to appear as this like perfect mother, wife, you know, all those things, and it can be so wearing on us. And so I thought if I could be more vulnerable and share the difficulties, the failures, the good times and the bad, that maybe other women could feel like they could share it too. And that's when you really start to have authentic and real relationships with each other, when you can be vulnerable and know that it's those things, the hard things, the struggles that make you unique. It's part of what makes you you. And those are beautiful things. So instead of being ashamed of them or hiding them, let's celebrate all of those things that we've gone through in our life and work together to you know, to encourage each other to talk about those things.
You just said so much. So much there. But and you talk about your challenges, your failures, and I think people will be surprised at some of the things that you've been through in your life. One of the things, and I want to ask you, one of the things you focus on is the pressure to be a good mom.
There's no such thing as perfection. Wonder Woman, I say in the book, is a fictional character that is not a real thing. So I think having forgiveness for yourself and being able to just say, I'm going to do the best I can do today. And then tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do the best I can do today. And I'm also going to forgive myself if I can't do everything at this highest level every single day. You know, I think the most important thing for me is my children know where they stand. They are number one. I'm a mom before I'm a CEO, a founder, a designer. They're my priority.
It's obvious in the book. It's obvious in the book.
Oh, well, I mean, they're my life, right? But I've created a work environment that allows other mothers and fathers to put their families first as well.
Some women use affirmations. There are all different kinds of things that women use to improve their self-worth, their self-esteem, their image of themselves. Are there specific tools you have used?
You know, one of the things I think I've really focused on is just gratitude. And I know that's not necessarily a self tool, but when I can look and focus on the things I'm most grateful for, you know, I try every day to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for today.
I do too.
And it changes my perspective of my entire day.
Totally.
My entire outlook. You know, in my book, I wrote a lot about 2020 being a really difficult year, as it was for so many. But I almost lost my father during that time, who is my rock. And every day still on one of my 3 is that he is still alive. And that gives me one more day with him. And when you start your day with that, it changes your whole perspective on yourself.
Absolutely.
Because you're going from a place of optimism and happiness versus a place of negativity.
And you talk about do good.
Yes.
Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah.
Why that's such a fundamental for you?
You know, going back to, you know, my stepfather, he was a 2-tour Vietnam veteran. He spoke 5 languages fluently. He was diagnosed with brain cancer when I was in high school. And my whole world really changed because never in a million years could I think this dynamic man could get to this point. But he inspired my first business, which was a hat company. I did a lot of headwear for men and women undergoing chemotherapy. And I remember when I opened my little shop in Austin, I wheeled him in. He was in a wheelchair at that point with his speech not being so great. And he looked at me and he said 3 simple words, and they were, "You do good." And those 3 words have just stuck with me every day since that day. And I remember having conversations of him saying to me, "You have such a short time on this earth. You don't know how long you're going to be here. use the things that you love to make a difference in this world. And I knew when he said, you do good, what that meant. And that for me has been every day I wake up. I'm now 48. He died when he was 47. I think I have another day to do something good, to try to help somebody else. And I'm most proud of that. I think everyone at Kendra Scott is. Since 2010, we've been able to give $50 million to women's and children's charities. So we're much more than a jewelry company or brand. We are trying to do good in the world.
Well, you brought some tears to my eyes.
I know. Every time I tell that story, I get choked up.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on your book. It's
Thank you.
so good. You're going to enjoy it.
Thank you so much.